Olivia Lawson stood in front of Dr. Calloway's desk with her hands clasped tightly in front of her. The office felt too small, too hot. The clock on the wall ticked loudly. "I'm sorry, Olivia, but we're letting you go," Dr. Calloway said. He didn't look sorry. He shuffled papers on his desk and avoided her eyes. "Because I spoke up about the staffing problems?" Olivia asked. Her voice was steady even though her heart raced. "Let's call it insubordination," Dr. Calloway replied. "The board feels you've become a liability to Westside Medical Center." Olivia took a deep breath. After 5 years at this hospital, it came down to this. Last week, she had written a formal letter about the dangerous nurse-to-patient ratios on her floor. Too few nurses meant patients weren't getting proper care. She had collected data, gathered signatures, and followed the proper channels. And now she was fired. "You can clean out your locker now," Dr. Calloway said, "and security will escort you out." 20 minutes later, Olivia walked to her car with a cardboard box of her belongings. Her nursing certificates, her favorite coffee mug, a few photos, and the small plant from her desk were all inside. The security guard, Bill, looked uncomfortable. "I'm real sorry about this, Olivia," Bill said quietly. "Everyone knows you're one of the good ones." Olivia nodded. "Thanks, Bill. Take care of yourself." As she drove away from Westside Medical Center, Olivia felt numb. Nursing wasn't just her job, it was who she was. She had wanted to be a nurse since she was 10 years old, when a kind nurse had helped her through her grandmother's long hospital stay. Now what would she do? The drive to her small cabin took 30 minutes. Olivia lived outside Pine Ridge, a town small enough that everyone knew everyone else's business. By tomorrow, everyone would know she'd been fired. The thought made her stomach hurt. Her cabin sat at the edge of a thick forest. Olivia had bought it 3 years ago, charmed by its privacy and the surrounding woods. It wasn't much, 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, a living room with a fireplace, but it was hers. Or it would be once she paid off the loan. A loan she might not be able to afford now. Olivia carried her box inside and set it on the kitchen table. Then she sat down and finally let the tears come. She cried for 10 minutes straight until her eyes were puffy and her nose was running. When she was done, she washed her face with cold water and looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. "Okay," she said to her reflection. "What now?" Her savings would last 3 months if she was careful. That meant 3 months to find another nursing job. But Pine Ridge only had one hospital. The next closest was in Glenville, an hour's drive away. And who would hire a nurse who had been fired for insubordination? Olivia changed out of her scrubs into jeans and a sweater. She still had $43,000 in student loan debt from nursing school. She had monthly payments for her cabin and her car. She had bills due next week. The walls of the cabin suddenly felt like they were closing in on her. She needed air. She needed to move. Olivia put on her hiking boots and a light jacket. A walk in the woods always helped her think. The forest behind Olivia moved deeper into the woods, following the strange burning smell. The further she went, the stronger it became. She had never ventured this far off the trail before. Tall trees blocked much of the fading sunlight, creating long shadows on the forest floor. After walking for 15 minutes, Olivia noticed a faint blue glow between the trees ahead. She moved carefully now, pushing branches aside and watching where she stepped. The blue light grew brighter. It wasn't like any light she had seen before. Suddenly, the trees opened into a small clearing. Olivia gasped and froze in place. A path of destruction cut through the forest. Trees were broken and splintered. The ground was torn up, leaving a long, deep gouge in the earth. At the end of this path sat a strange metal object. It was partly buried in the ground and badly damaged. Pieces of it were scattered across the clearing. The blue light came from inside the broken object. "What in the world?" Olivia whispered. It looked like something had crashed here, but it wasn't an airplane or a helicopter. The metal pieces had strange shapes and symbols on them. Some of the metal seemed to glow and pulse, as if it were alive. As Olivia stepped into the clearing, she noticed a trail of thick, glowing blue, liquid. It reminded her of blood, but no blood she had ever seen glowed like this. The trail led away from the crashed object and into the trees on the other side of the clearing. Olivia hesitated. The smart thing would be to go back home and call someone, the police or forest rangers. But what if someone was hurt? As a nurse, she couldn't just walk away if someone needed help. She followed the glowing blue trail. It led her through dense trees and around large rocks. The sun was almost gone now, but the blue liquid lit her way like a path of stars on the ground. The trail ended at the base of a large oak tree. Olivia stopped and looked around. At first she saw nothing. Then she heard a soft sound, like breathing, but deeper and with a strange whistle at the end. Olivia moved around the tree and saw it. The creature was the size of a horse but shaped nothing like one. Its body was covered in scales that shifted colors in the dim light, blue to green to purple. It had a long neck and a head that reminded Olivia of lizards she had seen in nature shows. Two large folded things on its back looked like wings. A long tail curled around its body. The glowing blue liquid leaked from a deep cut in its side. It was a dragon. There was no other word for it. Olivia's first instinct was to run. This couldn't be real. Dragons didn't exist. But the creature made a sound, a weak, pained moan, and Olivia's nursing instincts took over. "You're hurt," she said softly, knowing the creature couldn't understand her. But talking helped her stay calm. The dragon's eyes opened. They were large and golden, with vertical pupils that widened as they focused on Olivia. The creature tried to move away from her but winced in pain. "I'm not going to hurt you," Olivia said. She slowly knelt down, keeping some distance between them. "I'm a nurse. I help injured, well, people usually, but I guess dragons work too." The dragon watched her carefully. It didn't try to attack. It just looked at her with those intelligent, golden eyes. Olivia assessed the situation like she would with any patient. The cut on the dragon's side was deep and still leaking the blue fluid. Its blood, she assumed. One of its wings was bent at an unnatural angle. The creature's breathing was labored. Without help, it might die. "You need treatment," Olivia said, "but I can't exactly carry you to a hospital." The dragon made another sound, softer this time, almost like a question. "My cabin isn't far," Olivia continued. "I have medical supplies there, but I'll need to come back with them." She pointed in the direction of her home, trying to communicate her plan. The dragon's eyes followed her gesture. Then, to Olivia's amazement, it slowly nodded its head. "You understand me," Olivia whispered in awe. "Okay, I'll be back soon. Try to stay hidden." As Olivia hurried back through the darkening forest, she realized that losing her job might be the least strange thing that happened to her today. Her cabin had miles of trails, and Olivia knew them well. Maybe out there among the trees she would figure out what to do next. As she stepped outside, the cool air filled her lungs. The sun was starting to set, painting the sky with orange and pink streaks. Olivia picked a familiar trail and started walking. Her feet crunched on fallen leaves. Birds called to each other in the trees. She was so focused on her problems that she almost missed it. A strange burned smell in the air. Olivia stopped and sniffed. It wasn't a campfire or a forest fire. It smelled like electronics burning? Metal? Curious, Olivia left the trail and followed the smell. Something was wrong in her woods, and she was going to find out what. Olivia rushed back to her cabin. Her mind raced as she grabbed her large first aid kit, extra bandages, and a bucket of clean water. She added blankets, towels, and some rope to a backpack. She wasn't sure what would work on a dragon, but she had to try something. The woods were dark now. Olivia used her flashlight to find her way back to the crash site. The glowing blue trail helped, still visible on the forest floor. When she reached the oak tree, the dragon was exactly where she had left it. "I'm back," Olivia said softly. The dragon's eyes followed her as she set down her supplies. Olivia approached slowly. "I need to look at your wounds. Is that okay?" The dragon made a low sound and lowered its head as if giving permission. Olivia stepped closer and examined the cut on its side. The wound was about 8 inches long and deep enough to need stitches. The blue blood had slowed, but still seeped, from the injury. "This needs cleaning first," Olivia said. She soaked a towel in water and gently cleaned around the wound. The dragon winced but didn't pull away. As Olivia worked, she realized the dragon's scales were warm to the touch. They felt smooth like glass but moved like flexible armor. She had never felt anything like it. "Now for the hard part," Olivia said. She took out antiseptic wipes. "This might sting." The dragon huffed when the antiseptic touched its wound but remained still. Olivia then applied a thick layer of antibiotic ointment and covered the cut with large bandages. Next, she examined the wing. It wasn't broken as she had first thought, but it was dislocated, similar to a human shoulder. Olivia had helped doctors reset dislocated shoulders before. "I need to push this back into place," she explained. "It's going to hurt, but it will feel better after." The dragon seemed to understand. It stretched out its wing as much as it could. Olivia felt along the joint, finding where it had slipped out of position. She took a deep breath and pushed firmly in the right direction. There was a pop, and the dragon let out a sharp cry that echoed through the trees. Then it flexed its wing carefully and made a softer sound, almost like a sigh of relief. "Good job," Olivia said, patting its side gently. "Very brave." She finished by offering the dragon water, which it drank eagerly. The creature seemed dehydrated. "You can't stay out here," Olivia said, looking around. "It's going to rain tonight, and your wound needs to stay dry." Her garden shed was the only place big enough. It sat about 50 feet behind her cabin and was mostly empty except for some tools and old boxes. "Can you walk?" Olivia asked. "I have a place where you can rest and heal." To her surprise, the dragon slowly pushed itself up. It swayed a little, but managed to stand. It was even larger than Olivia had realized, about the size of a small horse. Its scales shimmered in the flashlight beam. "Follow me," Olivia said. "We'll go slow." The journey back took nearly an hour. The dragon moved carefully, stopping often to rest. Olivia stayed close, ready to help if needed. Finally, they reached the shed. Olivia opened the wide doors and cleared space inside. She spread blankets on the floor, creating a soft place to rest. The dragon entered cautiously, sniffing the air. It circled once, then settled onto the blankets with a tired huff. "I'll bring you more water and check your bandage in the morning," Olivia said. "Try to rest." Olivia woke early and hurried to the shed with fresh water and more medical supplies. When she opened the door, the dragon was awake, its golden eyes tracking her movements. "Good morning," Olivia said. "How are you feeling today?" She set down the supplies and approached carefully. The dragon seemed stronger already. Its scales looked brighter, shifting from blue to green in the morning light. As Olivia checked the bandage on its side, she felt that strange sensation in her mind again, like thoughts that weren't her own brushing against her consciousness. "Are you trying to talk to me?" Olivia asked. The dragon's eyes blinked slowly. Then a voice filled Olivia's head. "Yes, your care has helped me recover enough to establish a proper connection." Olivia jumped back in surprise. "You can speak, in my mind." "My kind communicates through thought. It took time to adapt to your brain patterns." "Your kind? What are you exactly?" Olivia asked, sitting down on a wooden crate across from the dragon. "I am not what your legends call a dragon, though I understand the comparison." The mental voice had a rich, deep quality. "My species is called Drakari. We are travelers from a world many light years from Earth." "You're an alien," Olivia whispered. "A real alien." "Yes. My scout ship malfunctioned in your atmosphere. The crash damaged my communication device. What should I call you? Do you have a name? My name would be difficult for you to pronounce. In your language, something like Ember would be close enough." "Ember," Olivia repeated. "I'm Olivia." "I know, Olivia. Your name was in your surface thoughts." Over the next week, Olivia spent every spare moment with Ember. She changed his bandages daily. The wound was healing surprisingly fast. His wing was also recovering well, though he said it wasn't yet strong enough for flight. Ember told Olivia about the Drakari civilization, a space-traveling race thousands of years more advanced than humans. They had been observing Earth for centuries. So all those dragon myths, Olivia began, come from occasional sightings of my ancestors, Ember confirmed. Your kind once worshipped us as gods or feared us as monsters. We learned to be more careful. After that, Olivia laughed. And now one of you is living in my garden shed. Temporarily, Ember added. I need to contact my people. Together they worked on repairing Ember's communication device. Olivia brought tools from her cabin and followed Ember's instructions. They connected wires, adjusted small crystal-like components, and used parts from Olivia's old radio. As they worked side by side, Olivia noticed changes in herself. Small cuts on her hands healed within hours instead of days. She felt more energetic despite sleeping less, and sometimes she knew what Ember was going to say before he said it. Is something happening to me? She asked one evening. I feel different. Ember's golden eyes studied her. Drakari biology affects nearby life forms. Your cells are adapting to my presence. It is not harmful, but it is changing you in small ways. What ways? Enhanced healing, stronger intuition, and our mental connection grows stronger each day. Olivia considered this. A week ago, she would have been terrified by the idea of being changed by an alien presence. Now it felt almost natural. I got fired for trying to help people, Olivia said. And now I'm helping an alien dragon fix a spaceship radio. Life is strange. Life is always strange, Ember replied, his mental voice warm with what felt like affection. That is what makes it valuable. That night, they finally completed the repairs to the communication device. It was a small triangular object that glowed with soft blue light, the same color as Ember's blood. Will it work? Olivia asked. We will know tomorrow, Ember said. It needs time to charge using solar energy. And then your people will come for you, Olivia said, feeling unexpectedly sad at the thought. Ember's tail curled around until the tip rested gently against her hand. Yes, he replied, but what happens after that may surprise us both. As she turned to leave, Olivia felt something brush against her mind, like a whisper, but without sound. It felt like gratitude. Olivia paused at the door. You're welcome, she said, not sure if she had imagined the feeling. That night, Olivia slept poorly. She dreamed of golden eyes and shimmering scales. She dreamed of flying through clouds, and she dreamed of strange words in a language she didn't understand but somehow knew. When she woke at dawn, Olivia wasn't sure what was stranger, finding a dragon in the woods or the feeling that it had somehow spoken to her while she slept. The next morning, Olivia and Ember activated the communication device. It hummed softly as blue light pulsed from its center. Ember placed one clawed foot on it and closed his eyes. Message sent, he told Olivia after a few minutes. Now we wait for a response. How long will it take? Olivia asked. Hard to say. Hours, perhaps days. It depends on where the nearest Drakari ships are located. Olivia nodded and went back to her cabin to make breakfast. She turned on the small TV in her kitchen, something she rarely did. The news was on. Breaking news, the reporter said, looking nervous. Strange objects have been detected in Earth's atmosphere. Military sources confirm 4 large unidentified craft have entered Earth's airspace. Olivia dropped her coffee mug. It shattered on the floor, but she barely noticed. On the screen, shaky footage showed dark shapes against the blue sky. They were massive and unlike any aircraft Olivia had ever seen. She ran to the shed. Ember, there are spaceships on the news. Ember was already standing, his wings partly extended. His scales had brightened to an intense blue. They have arrived, he said. But something is wrong. Wrong? What do you mean? The response was too quick, and 4 ships is unusual for a simple rescue. Ember's eyes narrowed as he focused on something. Olivia couldn't see. I can sense them now at the edge of my range. The fleet formation. It's a war pattern. War? Olivia's heart raced. Are they going to attack us? Not immediately. But this is not a rescue mission. On the TV inside, reports were coming in about military jets scrambling across the country. The president was being moved to a secure location. People in cities were panicking. I need to understand what's happening, Ember said. Stay with me. Our connection might help me reach them. Olivia sat beside Ember as he concentrated. His mental presence grew stronger in her mind. Through their connection, she caught fragments of thoughts that weren't hers or Ember's, distant, cold, calculating thoughts. After several minutes, Ember's eyes opened. He looked troubled. The ships are commanded by Admiral Silverax. He leads the military faction of our government. Why would they send military ships to rescue you? Olivia asked. Not to rescue me, Ember said sadly. My distress call gave them the excuse they wanted. The military faction has argued for decades that humanity is developing too quickly, becoming a potential threat. They believe Earth should be contained and controlled. For your own protection, they would say. That's ridiculous, Olivia said. We're no threat to you. Not now. But in a few hundred years? My kind thinks in long time frames, Olivia. On the TV, a new report came in. The alien ships had stopped moving and now hovered in formation high above the central United States. There's more, Ember continued. We are at war with another species, the Vorsi. Earth sits at a strategic location in space. Admiral Silverax plans to establish a military base here. Can you talk to them? Tell them to leave us alone? I'm trying, but they're blocking me. They consider me compromised because of our connection. Ember moved to the door of the shed and looked up at the sky. Olivia followed his gaze but could see nothing unusual from their remote location. They will send search teams for me soon, Ember said, and they will not be pleased to find me helping a human. What can we do? Olivia asked. 3 black SUVs stopped in front of Olivia's cabin. Men in dark suits and military uniforms stepped out. Some carried guns. Stay here, Olivia told Ember. Let me talk to them first. Olivia walked out of the shed and toward her cabin. A tall man with short gray hair approached her. He wore a black suit and had a serious face. Olivia Lawson? The man asked. Yes, that's me. I'm Agent Frank Porter, Homeland Security. We detected an unusual signal coming from your property. He showed her a badge. We need to search the area. May I ask why? Olivia said, trying to stay calm. National security. Agent Porter nodded to the other men who started moving toward the shed. As you're aware, we have a situation, unidentified craft in our airspace. I saw it on the news, Olivia said. 2 soldiers reached the shed door. Olivia felt a wave of alarm from Ember through their mental connection. They have weapons, Ember warned. Wait, Olivia called out. There's something in there you need to understand first. But it was too late. The soldiers opened the shed door and immediately backed away, raising their guns. Contact. We have contact, one shouted. Agent Porter pulled Olivia behind him and drew his own weapon. More soldiers ran forward, all pointing guns at the shed. Come, out with your hands up, Porter shouted. Drakari do not have hands, Ember commented dryly in Olivia's mind. Despite the danger, Olivia almost laughed. Then she stepped around Agent Porter and placed herself between the guns and the shed. Stop, she shouted. He's injured and not a threat. Step aside, ma'am, Porter ordered. No. Olivia stood her ground. His name is Ember. He crashed in the woods behind my property. I'm a nurse. I've been helping him heal. He's intelligent and peaceful. Move away from the alien, Porter said firmly. Olivia felt a strange warmth spreading through her body. The changes Ember had mentioned, they were happening faster now. She felt stronger, more confident. She could almost sense what the agent was thinking. You're afraid, she said. I understand. But pointing guns will only make things worse. Porter hesitated, studying her. You're different, he said. Your eyes. Olivia didn't know what he meant, but she kept talking. Ember can communicate telepathically. He can explain everything about the ships, why they're here. But you need to put down your weapons. For a tense moment, no one moved. Then Ember emerged from the shed. The soldiers gasped. In the daylight, his scales shimmered with colors. He stood tall, wings slightly spread, looking both beautiful and frightening. I mean no harm, Ember projected, sending his thoughts not just to Olivia but to everyone present. Several men flinched as the voice entered their minds. One dropped his gun in shock. What was that? Porter asked, his own weapon lowering slightly. That was Ember, Olivia explained. He's talking to you. The ships above your planet are my people, the Drakari, Ember continued. They did not come in peace, but I wish to change that. Porter finally lowered his weapon completely. You know about the ships? Yes. They came in response to my distress call, but their intentions have changed. I need to speak with your leaders. Why? Should we trust you? Porter asked. Because Olivia does, Ember replied simply, and because without my help, your weapons cannot stop what is coming. Porter looked at Olivia, then back at Ember. Finally, he spoke into his radio. Base, this is Porter. We have contact with an alien being who claims to know about the vessels. It appears cooperative. He paused. And it has a human ally. After listening to the response, Porter turned to Olivia and Ember. A helicopter will be here in 20 minutes. You're both coming with us to the command center. The president wants to speak with you. Olivia felt a mix of fear and hope. We'll need to explain about the Drakari Admiral Silverax, she said. And who is that? Porter asked. The one who will decide Earth's fate, Ember replied. Unless we can stop him, I must go to them. Try to reason with Silverax face to face. It is our only chance. I'm coming with you, Olivia said firmly. Ember turned to look at her. That would be dangerous. I didn't patch you up just so you could fly off and abandon us, Olivia said. Besides, they need to meet a human, show them we're not a threat. Before Ember could respond, they heard vehicles approaching. Heavy, engines rumbling up the dirt road to Olivia's cabin. Too late, Ember said. The humans have found us first. The helicopter took Olivia and Ember to a large military base. Soldiers and officials stared as they walked through the hallways. No one had ever seen anything like Ember before. They entered a large room filled with screens and maps. Men and women in uniforms and suits stood around a long table. At the head of the table was a video screen showing the president's face. So this is our visitor, the president said, looking at Ember. I am Ember of the Drakari, Ember projected to everyone in the room. Some people jumped in surprise at the voice in their heads. And you, Ms. Lawson, the president continued, a nurse who found an alien and decided to help it. Remarkable. Agent Porter stepped forward. Sir, they claim to know why the alien ships are here. Then please enlighten us, the president said. Ember explained about the Drakari civilization, their long observation of Earth, and Admiral Silverax's plans to use Earth as a base in their war against the Vorsai. So these ships aren't here to attack us directly, a general said. They want to take over for their own purposes. Yes, Ember confirmed. Silverax believes humans are too primitive to resist and too dangerous to leave alone. Our missiles can't even reach them, another officer added. We've tried. What do you suggest we do, the president asked. Before Ember could answer, alarms began to sound. A soldier rushed in. Sir, the alien ships are moving. They're sending down smaller craft toward major cities. Silverax is beginning, Ember said grimly. He will demonstrate his power, then demand surrender. We need to talk to him, Olivia said suddenly. All eyes turned to her. She felt out of place among all these important people, but she continued. Ember can help us communicate. And why would this admiral listen to us? The president asked. Because I'll remind him what the Drakari really stand for, Olivia said. Ember told me your people were once peaceful observers. You studied us, but you never interfered. The war with the Vorsai changed much, Ember said. But Olivia is right. There are many Drakari who would oppose Silverax's methods. The president considered this. Can you open a channel to them? Ember moved to a computer terminal. I will need to modify this to send a Drakari signal frequency. While Ember worked, more reports came in. The smaller Drakari ships were hovering over cities but had not attacked. They were simply waiting. Ready, Ember said after several minutes. The largest screen in the room flickered, then showed the face of another Drakari. This one was older than Ember, with scales that were deep purple and gold. His eyes were narrow and cold. "Admiral Silverax," Ember said aloud, using his actual voice for the first time. It was deep and rumbling. "Scout Ember," Silverax replied, in English. "You survived, and you've made friends with the locals." His eyes moved to Olivia. "Interesting. The humans know about your plans," Ember said. "They wish to speak." Silverax laughed, a harsh sound. "Speak? What could they possibly say that matters?" The president stepped forward. "We propose a peaceful alternative to occupation." "There is no alternative," Silverax said. "Earth is strategically valuable. The Vorsai cannot be allowed to claim it." "Your people were observers once," Olivia said, stepping into view, "not conquerors." Silverax studied her. "A human female. What do you know of my people?" "I know Ember. I healed him when he was hurt. I know the Drakari are capable of compassion, not just war." "Compassion is a luxury we can no longer afford," Silverax replied. "Then what makes you different from the Vorsai?" Olivia asked. The question seemed to strike Silverax hard. He fell silent. "There is another way," Olivia continued. "A partnership. Earth joins your alliance willingly. We get protection and knowledge. You get your strategic location without becoming invaders." "Humans are primitive," Silverax said, "but with less certainty. We were like them once," Ember reminded him. "Before the Great Journey." 3 months later, Olivia stood on the observation deck of the new Drakari Human Exchange Center just outside Pine Ridge. The large building gleamed in the sunlight, its unusual design unlike anything on Earth before. Olivia watched as visitors entered the main doors below. Some were human scientists and diplomats. Others were Drakari representatives, their scaled bodies drawing stares of wonder from human children. "Still hard to believe sometimes," said a voice behind her. Olivia turned to see Agent Porter, who now headed security for the exchange center. "That we actually pulled it off?" Olivia asked with a smile. "That a fired nurse who found a dragon in the woods ended up saving the world," Porter replied. "History books will remember you, Ms. Lawson." Olivia shook her head. "It wasn't just me. It was everyone working together." The 3 days they'd been given to prepare their proposal had been the most intense of Olivia's life. She had worked with world leaders, scientists, and Ember to create a plan that would satisfy both humans and the Drakari Council. In the end, the Council had accepted their offer. Earth would join the Drakari Alliance as a protected developing world. The Drakari would establish small exchange centers to share certain technologies and knowledge. In return, Earth would serve as a monitoring station in the war against the Vorsai. "Are you ready for the ceremony?" Ember's voice touched Olivia's mind. After months of mental connection, his thoughts felt as familiar as her own. "As ready as I'll ever be," Olivia replied. She left the observation deck and headed to the main hall. Hundreds of people were gathered there, along with dozens of Drakari. At the front of the room stood Ember and Admiral Silverax, who had become less hostile after the Council's decision. Olivia joined them, feeling slightly uncomfortable in her formal suit. She preferred her regular clothes, or even her old nursing scrubs. "The medical exchange program is your creation," Silverax said to her. "It is fitting that you should lead it." The program had been Olivia's idea. Drakari healing technology was centuries ahead of human medicine. By sharing some of it, millions of lives could be saved. As a nurse, Olivia couldn't imagine a better use of this new alliance. The president stepped up to the podium. "Today marks 3 months since first contact," he said. "What could have been a disaster has become perhaps the greatest opportunity in human history." He gestured to Olivia. "And we owe much of that to Olivia Lawson, who showed us that compassion can bridge the gap between worlds." People applauded. Olivia felt her face grow warm. She hadn't wanted fame or recognition. She had only done what she thought was right. After the ceremony, Olivia returned to her new office in the medical wing. Pictures of her cabin sat on the desk. She still lived there, preferring its quiet to the apartments offered to her. Ember entered, his large form moving carefully through the doorway. "Are you satisfied with how things turned out?" he asked aloud. He had gotten better at human speech, though he still preferred telepathy. "Mostly," Olivia said. "I wish the Drakari would share more of their technology." "It will come with time," Ember assured her. "The Council is cautious, but they see humanity's potential now." Olivia nodded. She understood the need for patience. Earth was changing rapidly already. Too much too fast could be dangerous. "Something arrived for you today," Ember said, changing the subject. He handed her an envelope. Olivia opened it. Inside was a license from the State Medical Board. It read, "Olivia Lawson, Director of Xenomedicine. They created a whole new field for you," Ember said. Olivia laughed. "From fired nurse to head of alien medicine. Not the career path I expected." "Life rarely follows expected paths," Ember replied. "That's what makes it interesting." Olivia looked out the window at the sky. Somewhere up there, Drakari ships kept watch, protecting Earth from the Vorsai threat. On the ground, humans and Drakari worked together, learning from each other. "What happens next?" she asked. Ember's scales shimmered with blue and gold, a sign of happiness. "We continue forward, together. There is a whole universe waiting," Olivia smiled. For someone who had lost her job just months ago, the future had never looked brighter. Silverax's eyes narrowed. The Council would need to approve such an arrangement. "Then let them decide," the President said. "Pull back your ships until then." The room fell silent as Silverax considered. Finally, he nodded. "Very well. You have 3 days to prepare your proposal for the Council. Ember will serve as intermediary." His eyes focused on Olivia. "This human has courage. Bring her too."